Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. So I want to take a few minutes and talk about if your context is, I want to be fit, look good, pain-free, and be healthy, and I want to compete in some local CrossFit events. So maybe my gym is holding a fun competition, or the gym down the road is having a fun competition. I want to be able to do these things. We don't need to go all in on a competitor program, and we can tailor and customize kind of what you're doing in your training so we can develop these like CrossFit competition skills, which are very different than just everyday training for everyday skills. So what I mean is, in a CrossFit competition, your hip crease has to go below your knee. So any additional distance down we go is actually to a detriment to you. There's a lot of techniques, like where we might position our hands on a push-up, how we might do push-ups, wall ball. Just, man, every single exercise, and this is where we get into the training and testing, every single exercise, if now you put movement standards on it, we need to find every single loophole that makes sense within those movement standards. So we need to develop competition skills. So what we do is a periodized program starts off very general, and it moves into getting a lot more specific. So this can mean a lot of things, but the specificity that we need to add as we're getting closer and closer to competition is we need to make what you're doing in your training in the gym look as close to what you're going to have to do in the competition as possible. We don't want to do that for too long, because then we miss out on building the foundation of strength and technique and all these other things that we need to boost this up. So if we're looking at how do world-class CrossFit athletes train for the CrossFit Games, what they're doing is they're building a foundation. So this is why they like having a date in mind, and they're peaking for a date. They're not trying to stay top level of fitness their whole time, because what they know is going to happen is if they build their foundation, their top level can be much higher if they peak and taper the right way for the CrossFit Games. So what we need to do, and the more specificity we need here, is going to be working on the engine, your anaerobic and aerobic capacity, and it's going to be taking the foundation of strength and techniques that we've learned and making it more specific for the exercises that you're actually going to see in competition, and paired in ways that you're actually going to see it in competition. And moving with those exercises in a way that you're going to move in competition. So again, in general, we might be squatting as low as possible. We might be doing things with different stances. And then as we get more and more specific, we're going to change the way that you squat into the way that is most effective and efficient for you in competition. Other things, or more examples like this, is we like to start with like hang and high hang, snatch and cleans, maybe snatch balances. So we like to start with pieces of an exercise, and as we move across our cycles, we like to get more and more specific, with the specific exercise being a snatch or clean from the ground. It's from the ground, so now we've pieced everything together. So if we're sitting here doing all these general exercises, high hang, snatch balance, and then you go to a competition and now it's like snatch from the ground, we need to have been snatching from the ground for a month or two leading up to that to really have our peaked technique dialed in. So this periodization takes us from general to specific, but really what you need to do is, if your context is, I want to be fit, look good, pain-free, be healthy, and I want to do competitions every now and then on the local level, you can still be amazing at competitions. But here's the easy strategy. We are already doing something similar to this. So we develop skills and we build on skills as we go. And then we work on the specificity of that engine. So that's not something you really need to worry about. So here's the ultimate thing. We talk about this a lot. 80% training, 20% testing. So really, there's just a tiny adjustment that you need to make if you want to be that everyday person who does CrossFit to be healthy, and I want to be able to be a competitor. 80% of your workouts each week need to be training. We need to be squatting to full depth, making it look good. We need to be doing the things we do because they make our body more resilient. They make us stronger. They develop technique and leverages. 20% of our workouts are testing. Now we're doing things in a way where we want to test what you're capable of. So all you need to do here is change how you attack your testing workouts. And now let's take it in the mindset of, okay, let's make our testing specific to competitions. So, I've got box jumps. I need to learn how to bound box jumps. I've got wall balls. I need to learn how to maybe go a little bit wider in my stance and go exactly to hip crease at the knee to shorten the range of motion on my wall balls. So in this one workout a week, we're going to test and we're going to learn our testing strategies and how we might tweak a push-up for training and how that's very different than a push-up for testing in that setting. So if you're that type of person, it's super easy. That's how we do it. And you got to learn either from these videos online. I do a lot of kind of competitive testing technique videos, or from your coaches in person, and just ask them, how might I change this technique if I'm in a competition? Because the advice I would give on a training day to somebody, or even on a testing day to somebody who doesn't want to compete in CrossFit, is very different than the advice I'm going to give to someone who does want to compete in CrossFit. There's a lot when we're in that compete in a sport like CrossFit, we have to find those loopholes. That way we can really maximize the scores you're able to get with the same amount of effort. Those loopholes are out there, but you got to practice them. You can't just train one way, jump into a competition, and expect to pick up on that competition technique right away. But also, we don't want to spend all year round in competition technique mode, because then we miss out on building the big foundation. Hope that helps. Talk to y'all soon.